Hello, everyone. I appreciate you tuning in to an early edition of the Straight from the Source show with David Mitchell. Normally, I air at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but sometimes we have to make exceptions. This is an exception to the rule because this interview is very close and dear to my heart. I happen to play collegiate basketball, Liberty University in Virginia, as well as junior college basketball in Kansas and Nebraska. So this is dear to my heart, this particular interview, because we are trying to highlight junior college basketball, the JUCO level in the state of Nebraska and beyond. In this particular region, there is some phenomenal basketball that a lot of athletes, especially those high school seniors that are being overlooked now because of the transfer portal and because of the simple fact that the coaches just would love to take someone with a lot more experience now than one of these young kids. We're going to talk about all of that. There's other opportunities out here. So you guys are in for a treat today. So without further ado, this next gentleman is on my show today, straight from the source. He is the head basketball coach at Western Nebraska Community College. Okay. It's located in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And the coach himself is a former collegiate athlete. He played college basketball at Dickinson State University. He's also a gentleman that's coming on the show that is from Cooperstown, North Dakota. So, with that being stated, he is a young coach. He's energetic. He has a young, energetic staff. Okay. He's at his third year at the helm. I believe he's been at Western Nebraska about 6 years. Listen, he's building a culture here. We'll talk about that Cougar culture that he's building. But Billy Engel is my guest, and let's welcome Coach Billy Engel to the show. Hey, Coach, I appreciate you for being on the show. How you doing today?
Doing great, David, man. It's game day out here, man. I get a chance to talk about my love and passion for junior college hoops and, talk about, my love and appreciation for Western Nebraska Community College. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Let's always start, if you don't mind, could you just tell us a little bit, Billy, about your upbringing? I know you grew up in Cooperstown, North Dakota. Can you tell us a little bit about growing up in North Dakota and sort of what led you to eventually become a basketball coach?
Yeah, so small town kid, North Dakota, blue collar, tough weather, tough people, but great, great people up there. And my mother was a college softball player, my father was a college basketball player, and they met in college. Had me and moved to a small town of about 900 people. And there's not much else to do but, be on the football team. Not much else to do but be on the basketball team. Not much else to do but be on the baseball team. And that's kind of almost what you're expected to do when you've got a little bit of physical ability. You're supposed to go out there and represent the town. And that's what they want their young high school students to do. So from a really young age, competitive sports, team collaborative sports have kind of been just in my DNA. And looking up to my father as not only a college athlete, but he was also my high school basketball coach. So I was really blessed with being around the game. We would go travel and watch college practices. I got to go spend a lot of time with the late head coach Don Meyer at Northern State, legendary coach. So I had a very blessed upbringing as far as my experience with the game, being around the game, watching my dad's high school practices, like I said, watching college practices, and I just developed a love and a hunger to be around the game, to spend time in the gym, to work on my craft. And I had I will not take no for an answer. I am going to be a college basketball player was kind of the mentality I ended up cultivating by the time I got to high school. And we competed and turned a small town of 900 into a competitive high school team, playing much bigger schools. And it was a great experience. I got recruited out of high school to go to a couple different junior colleges in North Dakota, and one of them just really felt like home, and that was Dakota College at Bottineau. And
Yes.
I think the good Lord works in very mysterious ways. The coach that ended up taking over is Corey Farringer, who's now the associate head coach at University of Northern Colorado. And talk about a blessing in my life. I get there, and I get to see a young, energetic, passionate coach who loves the game, but more than anything, he loves his players. And that was something that I really was an eye opening for me early in my college career. Was there was a young coach that loves me, clearly loves me, shows me that he loves me, but he shows me his love with accountability. He showed me his love with discipline. He showed me with love with very hard lessons and very honest and truthful conversations that young men need to hear. And and that was extremely impactful for me. So played there for 2 years. Couldn't have had a better experience. We lost a lot of games when I was a freshman, but the experience that we had and the relationships that grew from that freshman year were amazing. Returned for my sophomore year, where Coach Corey put together a lot of talent and was blessed enough to return to play for that team, and we won a championship, and it really was a special moment. So very, very blessed to have that junior college experience. I think I'm a JUCO guy at heart. There's a lot of toughness that comes from junior college, and there's a lot of hunger to get to that next step, hunger to get to that next level. And that's one thing I really love about junior college. So to move on from there, to go to Dickinson State, to continue my playing career, continue my academic career, graduate with a business degree. I achieved my goal of playing college basketball for 4 years. And I had, 1 semester away to finish my degree, to finish classes, and, decide, what is life going to be all about for me? And, stepping away from the game and not being with my teammates, after my senior year was over, watching, my former teammates go to practice every day, watching my former teammates get ready for the game, and, having to sit in the stands and not be dressed up in a uniform. And, it's a Saturday, it's a Sunday, and all my guys are on a road trip, they're hanging out in the bus, they're hanging out in the hotel, they're enjoying each other's company. And, there's just so many great memories of, just the little things like being on a bus trip and being in a hotel that man, I miss that so much. And so, I reached back out to my, to my head coach, Coach Corey Farringer, my mentor. That's my guy. That's my family. And I said, hey, man, I miss college basketball too much. I know it's only been 1 month, but I need to get back in. I think I want to start a coaching career. So that's kind of where my coaching career started. By then, Coach Corey had ended up down at Western Nebraska, and very blessed and very lucky to come down here and join his staff. And was an assistant for him for 3 great and amazing years. And from there, got the bump up. Got to take over that head chair when he moved on to Northern Colorado. And the blessings of my life have been abundant. So very, very lucky, very blessed to be here. And that's a little bit about my story.
So I appreciate you sharing that. And what we gather from that, you grew up, North Dakota, and you mentioned the toughness of North Dakota, the Dakotas, period. And I know it. And, Nebraska, Nebraskans, people don't realize how tough you guys and the ladies that grew up in those regions are. Also, they love sports. I'm some of the greatest fans in the Dakotas and in the state of Nebraska just love basketball. You came from a coach, Coach Engel. You came from a coach yourself in your dad, right? And that toughness that it ingrained, going on to Dakota at Bottineau, and then North Dakota at Bottineau, as well as Dickinson State. You play sports, okay? So you being coached up from dad, you playing sports, you in one of these regions where people are tough. Now you become a coach today. Over at Western Nebraska, okay, Coach Farringer, he has 4 years under his belt. He has a tremendous season in 2018, right? You come up from the assistant ranks. Did you feel any pressure at all taking over? Because of the simple fact, I can see that he's a mentor to you. But in those 4 years he was there, he accumulated over 90 some odd wins, probably average about 23 wins a game or so, 24 wins a game, doing his time at Western Nebraska. He also won a regional title in 2018 for the Western Nebraska Cougars, but also, had 2 All-Americans that also were recruited and played for him as well. Coach, did you feel any pressure at all?
I'd be lying if I said no. There's some pressure taking over and stepping into a seat for, taking over for a guy that was so successful, so impactful. Honestly, I know he's an associate head coach right now, but very underrated in just how good he is at connecting with young players and motivating young players and getting the most out of a roster, getting the most out of a team. So, not just those intricate details, but the results themselves, the win totals, the championship runs, the All-Americans. And, we've got 2 All-Americans, and honestly, should have been 3. Teddy Allen led the country in scoring, 31 a game. We ended up being second place that year. And so they gave player of the year to the one of the teams in first place. And no judgments, but that's just another credit to how great Corey was. So to say that I felt no pressure would be a lie. There was definitely pressure stepping in, but that's one of those mental toughness things that you got to look past it. Sitting thinking about that pressure isn't going to help me do my job better. It's not going to help this new group of young men that I'm called to lead. And so I put enough pressure on myself as it is to do my job to the best of my ability every day. I think, Western Nebraska as a school, puts enough pressure on us, to do our job and succeed at a high level here and work for our kids and get the most out of our kids every day. So to bring that extra pressure in and to have that on my mind every day isn't going to be, nearly as productive. But, that's the standard, when you're stepping into a respected situation like Western Nebraska, you're expected to win championships. You're expected to produce Division I players. You're expected to have 20-plus win seasons. So Corey is the standard. That is something that is on our mind. But it's a day by day, go 1-0 type of mentality, and that's how the results are going to come.
Absolutely, Coach. You have to do it with your blueprint, but it's always good to take a little tidbit from here and a tidbit from there from your mentors. I definitely understand you saying you're paving your path. Now, I'm a researcher. From my understanding with you, Coach, you're trying to build a culture now. And with this particular culture, doing it Coach Engel's way, all right? We know we want to win. When I look at you as a player, one thing about you, you are excellent free throw shooter. Not only were you an excellent free throw shooter, probably can still shoot free throws. I've been checking your guys' statistics. Ain't no telling what you probably can outshoot some of those guys on your team when it comes to free throws. We're going to get into that. But in terms of you as a player, you were a phenomenal free throw shooter, somewhere around 90% or more. Then you're an excellent three-point shooter, okay? You were a team player in your collegiate career. Do you look to recruit guys who can shoot the three as well as shoot a high free throw percentage?
Well, especially with the way the game's going today, in 2023, the analytics of how important a 3-point shot is, recruiting shooting is definitely something that's on the recruiting chart as far as do we have enough shooting in this upcoming class? So that's certainly on our mind. As far as recruiting players, to a similar ability of mine, if my mentality is I better be recruiting players a whole heck of a lot more talented than me. But no, I mean, for me as a player, I had to find a way. When I was a high school player, I was a little bit more athletic, a little bit quicker, a little bit more talented than my competition around me. I got to college and I realized college basketball is a little bit of a different monster. These guys are really big, really strong, really athletic, extremely talented. What's one thing that I can do to help our team win? What's one thing that I can do to keep myself on the floor, especially in a big moment? And that's make free throws and make open threes. And we talk about a little bit about my upbringing with the toughness and how my father raised me, and that was a way I was able to get on the floor. I was able to be tougher than guys. I was able to be just a little bit meaner than guys, and I would outwork guys. I would practice harder than guys. I would always, no matter what, find a way to help the team be productive and help our team win a game. So as far as looking for, things in players that I think can help our culture and help our team that, maybe it's not a shooting percentage, maybe it's not a ball handling skill set, maybe it's not a finishing skill set, maybe it's not a size or athleticism thing. But when we're out recruiting, we definitely look for, a toughness side. What does their body language look like when something isn't going their way? What are their facial expressions like when their teammate messes something up? How do they respond when they get subbed out of a game? How do they respond when their coach gets after them, on the sideline? So those are some things I look at that I think can impact and help our culture that we're looking to grow here as well.
Now, you explained a bit about what you're looking for. I just want to have some fun here and take you back. Like when I was in North Dakota, when I played basketball in junior college ball in Nebraska, and I was in South Dakota, and I never forget I was in Sioux Falls, and they had a bowling alley. Just certain things when you're not from a region that you always remember. And in this bowling alley, right, Coach Engel, you would go all the way to the top of it. I had never seen anything like this. They had a sliding board that went down and did like the little figure 8, and you would come down and you'd be right in the bowling alley. I was like, unless you from there or been there,
yep.
You know what I mean? It was one of those moments. And this is a little, I guess I could say this, we both grown, Coach, but yeah, it was a little joke, but it's the truth. I never forget I was in South Dakota. And that was, when you're in college, you're always looking to have funds. And everybody was like, man, if you guys going to be in town a while, maybe you guys could come to our PBR party. And I was like, what PBR party? What's a PBR party? Come to find out, as you know, I'm giving my age, it was Pabst Blue Ribbon. It was a beer party, college and the keg parties and things. But I was invited to a PBR party in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And certain things I just never forget. People are so beautiful out in that particular area. What's your thoughts on North Dakota? Hold on. North Dakota State, South Dakota State. I mean, and then when I even throw junior college in there, I had a buddy of mine, we spoke recently, Lewis Rice, who played in the 80s when I did. He played for North Dakota State School of Science, a phenomenal JUCO. Why is it that all of these Dakota schools, North and South, I'm talking about in 2023 right now, they're playing phenomenal basketball at those schools, football and everything else.
Yeah, there's I wish I could put my finger on exactly what it was, but it just gives me a lot of happiness and pride when I see other people from the Midwest, other people from North Dakota, other people from the Dakotas, really doing well. That brings me some happiness to see the North Dakota State football team be such a powerhouse in the FCS has been great. But even like North Dakota State College of Science, they were a really high level junior college program. When I was playing, they're still, almost a top 25 team every year. Williston State has got just amazing facilities. We talked about, Coach Corey Farringer, a little bit already, but, he spent a couple of years there and produced some high major players. And, even after he left, Coach Riley Hernandez, brought Williston State to the national tournament. But right now, North Dakota State basketball, has got a big kid that they're talking about, maybe an NBA draft guy, maybe transferring to a potential high major before he gets drafted. But South Dakota State, experiencing a lot of success. So it's great to see. Can't put my finger on exactly what it was. I would assume that those colleges and universities did a great job hiring great people and, gave them a lot of freedom to go do their job at a high level. So at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, are you surrounded by like-minded people that, have a shared goal for success? And, and when that happens, you get a lot of opportunity to be great.
Absolutely. As we continue on and just having fun here, I think of, the schedule. When I played out at Northeast, it was back then, it was NTCC, it's Northeast Technical College. It's now Northeast College in Norfolk, Nebraska. speaking to some of my former teammates, Matt Savella, who coaches the women's team actually for at Northeast now, and Anthony Bonner, who lives in Denver, Colorado, just jumped out the gym. Rob Davis, going over some of our fun days out there. But we went over the schedule. And I want this to be clear because these coaches and athletes who will be watching and things, they need to know this. On that schedule, in my personal career in junior college, I played against Sheridan in Wyoming. I played against Casper. Of course, in Scottsbluff, you're talking Western Nebraska. We went out there. You got Barton County, Kansas. I never forget playing against Barton County. Connors State, Oklahoma. Trinidad State. Otero out of the Denver, Colorado area. Laramie County in Wyoming. Cloud County, Kansas. Highland Park, Kansas. McCook, Nebraska, North Platte, Southeast. It goes on and on and on. Tell us a little bit about your region that you're in, and I'm going to jump into the team here. A little bit about your region, some of the, who you may play and the type of competition, coach. Tell them that you're going up against, if you're Division I JUCO, if you're Division II JUCO, if you offer scholarship and those type of things.
Sure. So the Region 9 right now is it's the state of Nebraska, state of Colorado, and the state of Wyoming. So right now, Region 9 is consisted of a north side of the conference and a south side of the conference. The north is split up into just the Wyoming schools. So that right now is Central Wyoming, Western Wyoming, Eastern Wyoming, Casper, Northwest College, and Laramie County. When COVID hit, both Sheridan and Gillette had canceled some athletic programs. Luckily, Gillette is going to be back in the Region 9 next year. It's a great, admitting them back into the conference is going to be great for the region. Sheridan, I'm told, the next couple of years will be back as well. So, getting back some of the heavy hitters in the Region 9 is going to be huge for us, especially in the north. The south part of the conference where we're at is the state of Nebraska and the state of Colorado. That's in Nebraska. It's us. It's McCook, like you mentioned, North Platte, like you mentioned, Northeastern Junior College in Sterling. Then down in Southern Colorado, it's Trinidad State, Otero Junior College, and Lamar Community College, who we actually play against tonight. And it's a good conference. In a good year, you've got anywhere between 1 and 4 Division I players on most rosters. In an average, even to a down year, you've still got probably 1 or 2 Division I players on most rosters. So day in, day out, showing up to practice, you're getting Division I competition. You're playing against Division I guards, you're playing against Division I bigs, and like right now, Trinidad State's having a heck of a year. They're undefeated in conference play, and I know for a fact they've got several Division I players on their roster. Multiple of them have multiple offers right now. So it's a very good league, very competitive league, good coaches, good players, and we're blessed to be a part of it. We are Division I, so the scholarships that we are able to offer, we can offer full scholarships. We can cover tuition. We can cover all fees. We are blessed to have some very nice dormitories on campus. We can cover those as well as a cafeteria meal plan, and we can even cover some book charges as well in our bookstore. So we're blessed to be able to offer full scholarships and to take some financial stress away from some families, and bring young men in and really focus on what they want to focus on, the most important thing. That's taking care of your academics, taking care of your athletics, and becoming a better man in the process.
Absolutely. And you guys listening out there, you heard that from Coach right here, straight from the source, offering scholarships, full rides, phenomenal competition in Region 9. And, sometimes you have to think outside the box, and I'll have Coach elaborate this more. Is reason why I wanted individuals to know about the opportunities that are here for the junior college level. The junior college level is a level in which you can go and play 1 year or 2 years. You may be there 3 if you decide, if you gotten red shirted or something, but it's generally a 2-year institution in which you go to. And then you either after one season or two seasons, you move on to a 4-year school. When I was coming up in the 80s, it was the prep school. It was everything. You go to JUCO, I mean, you got it all. I mean, it was so much competition in the junior college ranks. So now, Coach, in stating that the seniors, let's talk a little bit quickly about the name, image, likeness, the transfer portal, and all of that. And the whole spectrum of sports has changed. A lot of these kids will come out. They could be the Nebraska State Player of the Year, the Lincoln City Player of the Year out of the city of Lincoln. He could be out of the Omaha World Herald, City League Player of the Year. When I was coming up, a lot of that, you were going to get some type of attention, or you knew you could find yourself a school somewhere. Today, coaches like yourself, and I want the kids to know, it's not all on Coach Engel. He can't do it all. He can't sit here and pick up the phone and be on with coaches all day, all night. He has a life. He has a he's got things that he has to do. So there are things like recruiting services. There are things like, different outlets or middlemen that can come in and sort of help a kid aim in the right direction. And I do some of that myself personally and try to get these kids in the right school with my consulting work. What's your thoughts on these kids? This now 2-3 years down the road, we got seniors now in their sixth and seventh years. What are these high school kids doing now? And in my opinion, they need to look more towards the junior college ranks, like yourself, Christian schools, prep schools. Go anywhere. When I was coming up, Billy, it was wherever you could go get a scholarship, okay? Because you can be noticed anywhere today. Just speak a little bit on that.
The having the internet, is such a game changer. That I could be sitting here in my office in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and I can see a 6'11" monster in Australia, and I can watch a full game, and I can see things that back in the day just wasn't possible. So like you said, with the you can get noticed from anywhere. You can get recruited from anywhere. Your name can start to pop from anywhere. So if you high school juniors and seniors out there that you feel like I'm getting overlooked. So and so is getting the offers and not me. Delayed gratification. Your time may not be today. Everyone's timeline is different. Keep working your butt off, and if you're doing what you're supposed to do, and if your path is supposed to take you to college basketball, you'll get there eventually. Keep working your butt off. Keep your head down. Surround yourself with the right people, and keep going. You're seeing somebody else's timeline and seeing their success and seeing their offers. That's not going to help you get your job done. Keep your head down and handle one day at a time. Go 1-0 today. Dominate today. And you've got a lot of high school seniors. You hear it a lot about. I prefer to go to a prep school. I prefer to go to a post grad as opposed to spending a year in junior college because that would use a year of eligibility. And it's true. You come to junior college, after 1 year, if you're looking to transfer and go Division I, Division II, you'd only have 3 years left to play. You come to junior college for 2 years, and then you transfer Division I, then you transfer Division II, you'd only have 2 years left to play. So you see a lot of young men, choosing to go to a post-grad or a prep school route. Mm-hmm. And, my advice to them is just pick the right one. Because there's some amazing post-grads out there that do an amazing job developing players, giving them more experience, giving them high-level competition, getting them recruited, giving them a good amount of exposure. But you also got to understand the reality of you're going to go to a good post-grad, you're going to go to a good prep school. There's a chance that your next best option coming out of there is to go junior college. And that is a very realistic situation with how the NCAA, how 4-year schools are choosing to go the transfer route. They're choosing to recruit more experience, choosing to recruit somebody that maybe average double figures, in a very, very competitive league on a successful team. And they can just see a very, easy route to bring some talent in that's ready to perform, that, doesn't need to be, a project, so to speak. So I think going to post-grads, I think going to prep schools can be a very good thing for adding experience, for giving yourself, more maturity. Before you step on the floor, in college basketball, where it does affect your clock, where it does affect your eligibility. just do your homework, because as many great people as there are out there, as many great post-grad and prep schools there are out there, there's some that aren't run very well, and aren't doing their jobs as far as helping the youth and giving them the experience that they need to be given, giving them the exposure they're supposed to be given, and just having the correct amenities, for young men to be able to live life and enjoy their experience. But that idea of wasting a year in junior college, I just don't subscribe to it because of how much you get out of it. The grind of junior college, I think, absolutely transfers to the 4-year level. The toughness that comes along with, like, everybody on a junior college roster is working to be a Division I player. Everyone on a junior college roster is competing every single day to become the best Division I player they can be, to become the best Division II player they can be, whatever it may be. Everyone's fighting for something. And in that mentality, you carry that with you to your 4-year school. It's unmatched in your ability to go out there and be a dog and beat somebody out for a position, to beat somebody else out for minutes, to take that with you. And the junior college, it, David, it's a grind. It develops a lot of toughness. It develops a lot of character. Doing easy things does not lead to a robust human. You put yourself in tough situations, you come out on the other end of that. You're a little tougher. You're a little bit more robust. You're a little bit more resilient as a person. And to me, that is not a wasted year of eligibility. Our experience with guys moving on to the Division I level, so proud of their abilities to perform at the Division I level. But when they look back on it, they're telling stories about the junior college days. Some of their favorite years were the junior college days. And if you ask them, hey, if you could have had the Division I school that you went to and you loved it there, and because you went to that school, you ended up becoming a pro. If you had to go back and do it all over again, would you spend 4 years there, or would you have gone back to junior college and then gone Division I? Every single time, they want to go junior college. They said, if it wasn't for junior college, I'm not the man I am today. If it wasn't for junior college, I'm not as tough as I am today. If it wasn't for junior college and I got coached the way I got coached at my Division I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I wouldn't have been prepared, to bounce back from, getting yelled at, getting cussed at, getting kicked out of practice, dealing with locker room situations, dealing with, whatever it may be. And so, to me, the experience in junior college and what that gives young men going forward, I think is absolutely unmatched, and it's an option out there for a lot of people that should not be overlooked.
Oh no, it's definitely an option, and it will not be overlooked on this show. Straight from the source, we're always going to highlight. I call them diamonds. In the rough. There's so many players out here. Let's look at Western Nebraska's history, for example. For some that may not know, they produced at least 2 NBA players that I know of. One I personally know, Cedric Toney from Dayton, Ohio, played in the NBA for many years. A wonderful 6'2" guard that went on to the University of Dayton from Western Nebraska, had a phenomenal career. And you had Bobby Jackson, went to the University of Minnesota, guard, played many years in the NBA as well, had a phenomenal career. And they've consistently guys going Division I from Western Nebraska, guys going on to play basketball overseas and things like that. Also, when I was coming up, I was a coach there a long time ago, Coach Terry Layton. And Coach Layton had a Dayton, Ohio connection. He had a connection back in Ohio. He would always go, get players back in Ohio. And so my thing was I could have went to Western Nebraska, had a scholarship offer, and I ended up going to Northeast. I ended up going to Northeast, but the whole bottom line is I still got that experience, and I know every time I talk to anybody, though, they always tell me, though, you should have came over to Western. You should have came to the Cougars. They always tell you, you should have came to the Cougars. Should have came to the Cougars. But I always say this. Once you've been in Nebraska, it's like now I'm a Nebraska football fan. I don't know if you're a Matt Rule fan. I'm a Matt Rule fan now. Billy, I'm pulling that the Cornhuskers can can turn this, man. We've been losing for so much. We've been losing so much.
Hey, go Big Red, baby. I think Matt Rule's got a great chance to turn some things around and get us going. And talk about the what amazing fans, just the fan support, of Go Big Red. I mean, we're on the border of Nebraska, Wyoming. Easily could be Wyoming fans. Everybody's Go Big Red fan.
Everybody.
We're right here by Colorado State. You could easily be a Buffs fan. You could easily be a Rams fan. Nope. Everyone's Go Big Red, so there's some fun passion here. And as far as making a decision about a junior college, I advocate for junior college. I advocate for, there's so many well-run junior college and great coaches that do a great job for the kids out there. But there is something special about Western Nebraska. If you've been on our campus, we've got a beautiful campus with beautiful facilities, a great weight room, and the gym is unique. It's called the Cougar Palace. It's a big arena. It's got a second level to it. There's a walking balcony around it. You've got fans sitting right underneath both hoops, right on there on the baseline. The baseball team, the soccer team, the volleyball team gets real rowdy during the game. So there's a unique atmosphere. And the best part about Western Nebraska is our community is just so amazing and so supportive. And talk about the passion of almost all people that live in Nebraska about being just Go Big Red Huskers fan. When you're in the community of Scottsbluff, everybody's a Cougars fan. There's not a lot out here as far as nightlife and entertainment. So Friday, Saturday nights, the community loves to come out and watch the Cougars play. So it is a special place. And you were talking about the history of producing Division I players, of producing NBA guys, of producing pros. I mean, I think right now, at this moment, I want to say we've got, 7 players in Europe playing professionally, just in the small amount of time that I've been here at Western Nebraska. So I want that number to continue to grow, but there's a real pedigree here at Western Nebraska. There's real expectations, to really perform at a high level. And that's, it's a blessing that I'm able to be a part of that. And it's also a calling. That we need to get the job done at a high level and keep producing and keep winning.
Now, Coach, with that being stated, let's get to talking a little bit of basketball here. Now, you guys currently are, a bit over 500 with your record right now, right? A bit over 500 or so within your conference play. And you look like you do well when you're playing on neutral sites. Your record is incredible on neutral sites right now. The team is averaging about 80 points per game. And I'm looking at your free throw percentage at around a little under 70%. And I know that's an area in which you want to improve, because I always think back to, I was a good free throw shooter. And if I was coaching, I want my team. We know we got to make them, but especially when you did it, that's why I asked you, do you recruit players with some of your attributes? That's the area I looked at. I said, I know Coach Engel want to improve that free throw percentage. That scoring points average is not bad, though. That's not bad at all. 3-point percentage, I think, was around 30%. Not bad. Hopefully we can improve that. Improve upon that. You recruited, it looked like you finally in year 3, more than ever. And you're looking at you bringing in guys from all over the country now. You're bringing in guys from France. You're bringing in guys from London, England. You're bringing in guys from all Florida, just all over the place, California, the list goes on and on. And I see you have a lot of 6'4", 6'5" guys. You got a couple of big men, 6'9", but you got experience mixed with youth, mixed with some of these transfers that's coming in. How do you see this developing for the remainder of the season, going into tournament play and into next year?
Yeah. So, to start from the beginning, we looked at setting up our roster, going into the season with, I would assume, very similar to what a lot of Division I schools are looking to do. It's we want returners that understand the program, that understand my expectations, that have been coached by me, that can help incoming student athletes. Like, hey, this is what it is. Coach says this is what he means. This is what he's expecting you to do. So having good returners in the program to help set the culture was important. And having 6 guys back from last year, I thought was very good for us. We wanted some transfer talent, guys that had the experience, guys that have done it at a high level before. They've been coached, they've understood defensive rotations, they understand, what needs to happen offensively, and different systems, different offensive implementation. If you're smart enough, you'll learn a new system, but to have done it at the college level, I think was important. But then you also want some younger, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 18-year-old high school kids we want coming in. So we didn't want to go all experience. We didn't want to go all transfer. We wanted a good balance. And so I like that about our team, that we've got some young 18-year-old kids. We've got some transfer kids, and we've also got, a good amount of returning kids. And, area of the country, area of the world. The game of basketball is a language all of its own. And if you love it, if you care about it, if you want success, we can all speak the same language there. We can all get on the same page and have a like-minded goal. Back early in the season, I mean, we had depth at the point guard position. We had depth on our wings. We had depth in the front court. A little bit of a rough hand to be dealt when our, arguably most talented player, a lot of talent. So, who knows, but arguably one of our most talented kids goes down with a shoulder injury, back in the fall. So that hurt us a little bit. Had another really talented player end up stepping away and is no longer with us. So, no excuses. But sometimes it's the way a season goes. That's sometimes the way things shake out, and that's, you've got to, next man up mentality. And, that's why showing up every day is a big deal. You might be a rolled ankle away from your role just greatly improving. And, it's you're not going to be given time to get your feet wet. You've been at practice all year, been at practice all fall, rolled ankle, injured shoulder, whatever it may be. Your role is gonna grow, and the team needs you to be ready to step in and produce. And so, we've had to deal with some of those ups and downs. It's funny about how we struggled a little bit early at home in the season, where in the past that had been just such a home court advantage. You play in a Cougar Palace, that is a tough place to win if you're an opposing team. Coming back second semester. Started out 3-0, lost to Trinidad State at home. I want to say we're 3-1 at home in the second semester now. And Trinidad State's good. They're doing a good job, having a nice season. But I still like our home court advantage going forward. I still think, especially this Thursday, this Saturday coming up, our home court advantage in the second semester, I think, is back. So, having a good neutral record is nice to have. Being able to go out on the road and get some conference win, I think, was nice to start our conference season out. And right now it's just a big battle for us for second place. Right now we are tied for second place in the south part of our conference, which is it's nice that we can control our own destiny. We don't have to sit and wait for somebody else to lose, or sit and hope that somebody else loses. We control our own destiny. If we handle business tonight, we're in a good spot for second place. We handle business on Thursday. We're really in a good place for solidifying second place, for being able to host a first round playoff game. But it's a one game at a time thing. Our mentality is we're not even looking towards tonight yet. The most important thing we can do right now is have a great shoot around at 1 p.m. We need to go 1-0 in our shoot around. That's be where your feet are at. Don't look to the past, don't look to the future. All you've got in life is where you're at in the present right now. And so get the most out of that, be where your feet are. And at 1 p.m., we need to have a great shoot around. We need to move. We need to sweat. We need to make shots. We need to score full speed. We need to review defensive rotations. And if we do a good job, at shoot around, that sets us up for a great rest of the day. So we do a good job tonight, and that sets us up for a great rest of the week. So proud of our team for being resilient through some ups and downs this season. We talked about some of the tough travel, some of the late nights, some of the, hey, you're on a 6-hour bus ride. You may not get back till 3 a.m. and you might have an exam at 9 a.m. the next morning. And that's that is the grind of not just junior college athletics, but college athletics as a whole. And so I'm extremely, extremely proud of these young men for being resilient this year, for remaining together, and we're still in a beautiful spot to control our own destiny. Take care of second place, host a first-round tournament game.
Good. Tell me, Coach, and we're going to definitely wish you continued success. I mean, when you right there second place, everything is in front of you. There's no telling how far you can move up the ladder as the season continues to progress. Rodney Sawyer, 6'5", guard, averaging around 10, 11 points a game, 5 or 6 boards, out of Pennsylvania. And then you got another guard over there, 6'3", out of Carson, California, a Biko Johnson, averaging about 12 points and 4 boards, shooting good 3-point percentage out there, as well as solid free throw shooter. You've got Carl Thorpe out there averaging 14 points a game. Tell us a little bit about these players.
Yeah, so all three of those guys with us last year were really big, impactful players on our tournament run last year. And as a as a freshman, to step on the floor and be an impact player in the postseason, that's a lot. It takes a lot of guts. To step out there against second, third year players, transfer players, guys that have grown men. And those guys, were out there as 18, 19-year-old kids, winning game for us in the postseason last year. So to have them return was a great start. Biko and Rodney had a little bit of summer exposure this last year at get invited to some all-star events, which was great for them. But at the moment right now, I mean, Carl Thorpe is playing some just really high-level basketball. He just had a 26-7 night here over at NJC just on Tuesday. Had a 28-10 game, not too long ago, but just a walking double most nights. He has a good nose for the ball, finishes well around the rim. He's shooting it close to 40% from three right now. For his, a big, 6'7", 6'8", undersized 5-man, but really, really athletic. His foot speed works well at the junior college level. He's got Division II offers right now. He's picking up some Division I interest right now. And if he continues to play well, and if we continue to win, I'm confident that he can get a multiple Division I offers going forward. Biko Johnson is as lightning quick of a guard as you'll see. He's shooting it better. His playmaking is improving. His free throw numbers aren't perfect, but they are greatly improved. That was one thing as a freshman that he really needed to step up and hit some free throws. But on the positive side of it, he's so lightning quick. He's so tough to stay in front of that he creates so much contact. He creates so much help. And so, even if his free throw numbers aren't perfect, he's always putting the other team's guards in foul trouble. He's always getting our team in the bonus. So every little bump the rest of the half is going to put our team at the free throw line. And because he forces so much help, reads become easier. Dump offs to big men become easier. Driving kicks to shooters become much easier. So both of them have been really impactful for our run here recently and getting us to second place. And we're going to need that going forward. Rodney is as talented of a young man as I've been around, big, strong, freaky, athletic. He needs to, there's a lot of the game that he needs to still grow and understand and mature and figure out. But man, the talent is at a ridiculous level. So, we look at our shooting numbers that could be improved. I mean, right now our starting 5-man is shooting close to 40%. Right now our most talented guard is shooting it, at high 30s right now, which, for a ball dominant guard, I think is extremely respectable. And we've got some shooters that, we label them as shooters. That's their number one attribute, and their percentage, doesn't tell you that they're a shooter right now. But, the experience of freshmen last year shooting 40% and winning games for us in the postseason, right now is not a good percentage shooter. But I've got all the confidence in the world here that down the stretch, he's going to start finding the bottom, and our guards that are going to be unselfish and keep getting him shots. He's going to help us win games, and that team percentage will rise, because of that.
Absolutely. And then shortly, before we close here, just want to give a shout out again to Coach Demond on your staff. I want to give a shout out to Coach AJ Demond, be remiss if I didn't do that. Coming in from Southern Virginia and the University of Utah to help with your staff.
Hey, great young man, great basketball mind. He works his butt off for the kids. He's great in developing relationships and maintaining the culture that that we're working to cultivate here. Incredibly intelligent on the basketball side of it. So, young men that we bring in here are going to be, blessed to, be a part of our culture. But, to have the help of a great assistant coach, sure makes my life easier. And then just adds so much to the player's experience to have, not just a head coach that cares, but to have an assistant coach that is also willing to go above and beyond.
Listen, man, I appreciate you being here on the show. You're welcome back at any point in time. Maybe we'll check back in with you down the line here come tournament time. Wish you tremendous success at Western Nebraska University in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Is there anything else that you might want to say, plug, anything like that? Any advice, anything to anybody?
I got nothing on the top of my mind, man. I just really appreciate David. You give me a chance to get on your show and just talk hoops a little bit, man. It's where my passion is at. Basketball is a love of mine, but specifically, junior college athletics is where my heart is at, and helping these young men grow in life, grow in basketball, grow in their academics, and just to get to see them flourish, get to see them go through adversity, and getting to see them, take steps in their perseverance, and get to help them through that is such a rewarding experience for me. And when you get to win games on top of that, when you get to move young men on to 4-year levels, so rewarding. And man, just last week we had 3 former players from our championship team back in town. And it's just like, but they, again, they loved their experience here so much. They wanted to come back and say what's up. They wanted to come back and catch a game. Otero's always been a little bit of a rival for us. So those three players got to come back and watch us beat Otero at home. And so that was a great experience. But, just to sit and have dinner with those 3 and listen to them tell stories was that's the rewarding side of being a junior college head coach, is that you get to see young men move on, and then they come back and the love and appreciation that they had for their experience was great. So that's what it's all about. But today's all we got. So to go 1-0 at shoot around, go 1-0 tonight. That's the mentality. But David, thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks for being on the show. Good luck at the game tonight. Go Cougars. I'll be in touch with you soon, Coach.
Thank you, David. God bless.
God bless. Thank you guys for watching the show. We'll be back next week with a wonderful show. Thank you so much.